Alright everybody, today we're going to take a look at the Hawkeye Firefly Micro Action Cam. And I'm going to show you how to mod it onto the Bugs 3. Because this is why I bought this. This is the only reason I bought this, was to put it on my Bugs 3, which is right here. Now, see, the Bugs 3, I don't like using the landing legs, okay? So I never liked putting the GoPro or whatever on the bottom of it, because it made it, you know, the leg. I like to fly it like this. Okay, so I was waiting for a camera to drop into the Bugs 3 so I could fly it with these legs here on it without having to put those big long legs on there. So I got this one here, and you can use this one in the Bugs 3, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now there's a little wedging involved. It's not a drop-in solution, so let's take a look at the camera real quick. The camera is pretty straightforward, nothing too difficult about it. There it is right here. It slides into this little holder here that you can use for, you know, you can mount it up on a tripod or whatever, because it has this little stand here, and then it has this little adapter plate that fits down in here with the 1/4-20 connection to it, so you could put it on a hat or whatever. But this isn't the kind of quality of a camera that I would actually use recording, you know, a video or something like that. Like here, I'm using my GoPro. I wouldn't make this video using something like this. You know, the quality is probably not going to be that great. I mean, it'll be okay, but it's not going to be anything that kind of good. So anyway, underneath here, they managed to wedge all of that stuff right there into the bottom of this, okay, which I thought was pretty wild when I took it out of there. You know, your hat stuff, your little brackets, you know, that goes in there, and then that slides onto this. You stick this somewhere, and that slides into there like that. You know, the normal stuff that you see with all these action cams. You always get these little accessories, and then there's the little screw there. It holds it all together, and then they give you this little charging cable, and it's, I don't know what the term for that. It's not a micro USB or something. It's just some kind of, that you see on these little Chinese cameras. You see this little adapter here on a lot of them. So I don't even know what it's called. And then they give you a video port if you wanted to plug it in and, you know, check it out. You know, they give you one of these like this with the run cam, and with another one of them little SQ. I think I have the SQ11. I ordered the SQ13, but I have the SQ11 now, and it's just not that good. So I saw Kolsky Drones had the SQ13, and I ordered one of them. So the video quality on that one looked a lot better than the SQ11. Anyway, here's this camera here. It's pretty straightforward. It's really not a lot to it. You know, you turn on the power, and when you turn on the power, it starts recording in 1080p, you know, after a few seconds or whatever. And then to switch it from 1080p, you can see the light flash in there, okay? It automatically starts recording in 1080p. That's the default setting when you turn it on. Now, if you want to switch it to 720p, you hit the mode button, which is the other button. It has an M on it. So you would hit that, and then that would switch it to 720p. And then it has some ventilation here, and there's the SD card. It supports a 32, from 8 to 32 gigabytes on the SD card. So it's pretty straightforward. It goes for about 50 minutes according to the manual. And then to shut it off, you just hold the power button in again for 3 seconds, and it goes out. Okay, so it's not that complicated. Now, look at this manual, okay? That writing on there is so microscopically small that it's almost impossible for me to see it. Okay, but let me show you what I do to get around this. Whenever I run into one of these little manuals, instead of digging out a magnifying glass, what I do is I just take pictures of the pages with my phone. And so then I bring the pictures up, and then I can just, swell up the pictures like that. And then that way you can see, there's the next page right there, and that's the one with all the statistics. It has the weight on here, 14 grams. It says about 50 minutes, takes about 2 hours to charge. The bad part about it, it's the AVI format. It's 5 volts. It's 24 by 24 by 32 millimeters. It says the SD card supported, like I said, 8 to 32, class 4, NTSC recording. And then it sits here and tells you what I just told you about holding the button and battery charging and transferring the files. If you connect it to your computer, it'll come up as a device, and then you can suck the files off, or you can just take the micro SD card out and do it that way. It's up to you. Do it whatever way you want. So, but anyway, that's how I get around those microscopic writing on the manuals, is I just take pictures of it, swell it all up. See, when you're old and blind, those are the maneuvers you have to make, okay? Those are the moves you have to do to make that work. So anyway, let me show you how to put it into the Bugs 3. First thing you have to do is you have to remove the canopy of the Bugs 3. And that's probably the trickiest part of the whole thing. Is what you have to do is you have to squeeze these little clips that are on here. And you have to get your finger, when you squeeze them, you get your finger up under here, a little fingernail or a little screwdriver, and when you squeeze that, just pull up on it. And eventually they'll all pop out. And then right here, I'll try to zoom in on this for you. There's 2 screws. There's one there, and then there's one there. So you have to remove those 2 screws. There's one. There's 2. And that's for the light, the little LED light. So then you have to pull the plug off of the LED light. And then that pops right off. Okay? So now, this is the part I messed around with for a while before I got it kind of figured out. What you have to do to get this to sit in there without wobbling around, because like if you just take it like this and set it in there, you'll see that it's not gonna do anything. What you need to do is you need to wedge the width of this camera into that opening right there. Okay, and then once you get that wedged in there, then it's in there very good. It's not gonna wobble around or anything like that. But what you have to do is you have to work the front and stretch this just a little hair. Now you don't want to crack it, so you don't want to exert a lot of pressure on there, but you want to try to squeeze it and work it a little bit, okay? So you want to keep the buttons on the up, facing the top, so you're able to turn it on and off once it's in here like that. So I'm going to have to force this against my body a little bit here to wedge that part on there. There it goes right there. That's as good as you're going to get it. And you see that little, how it's bent there a little bit? That's where you just have to actually literally bend the plastic. Now, Jay Drone had this on his, and it took, I'm going to try to get it down there as far as I can, which is about right there. That's about, I've hit rock bottom now. So he did a nice video on this. I don't think he showed me you wedging the camera in there. He just made the comment that you didn't need to use any padding or anything, which you don't, because this thing holds it. This thing holds it in there hard. It's actually pretty difficult to actually pull that back out of there now. Okay, so but this is the only reason I actually bought this camera, was just to do this. Just to have this for the Bugs 3. So this is basically a Bugs 3 camera for me now. And then all you got to do is put the top back on. And then when I want to go out, just power it on. Power on the Bugs and take off. And now I'll be able to get probably at least 3 flights out of that battery of the camera, because the camera will go for 50 minutes and, you know, the Bugs 3 goes for like 12 minutes or whatever. So I should be able to get 3 flights before I have to actually remove the battery or remove the camera to charge the battery again. So, and that's probably how I'll fly for the rest of the year anyway. So this will be good the way it sits right there for the rest of the year. And because I'm not taking it back out, because it's a little tricky getting it in there, guys. Believe me, it's a little tricky, but you know, it's doable. And then all you do is just put this back on, snap it on there. Now, another way you can remove this canopy the easy way is to wreck the Bugs 3, because that'll make it pop off too. Which I've done. I've wrecked this bird, and it still doesn't even have a crack or anything. I've wrecked this thing at least 20 times. This thing is extremely durable, believe it or not. Yeah, but I've tore this thing up many a times, but it's never done any damage to it. Got a couple little scuffs on it, and I got some different props on it, of course. But yeah, I've wrecked this thing many times. Alright boys, there you go. The camera, I'll put a link in the description for the camera. I think it's 20 bucks, something like that. But like I said, the video Jay did, the video was pretty clear. You know, I was pretty impressed with it. That's why I picked it up. So, alright guys, have a nice day.